22. And it reads, so that the house of Israel, which are the blacks and Hispanics, shall know that I am the Lord their God, and from that day and forward. So the Heavenly Father, the Creator, is the governor of the house of Israel, which are the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. Ezekiel 39:23. And the heathen. Who is the heathen? Who are the heathen? The heathen are not Israelites. So anyone that is not a black, anyone is not a Negro or the Indian descent, basically. If you're not a so-called Negro, if you're not a so-called Hispanic, Latino, or Native American, automatically by default, you are a heathen. Like heathens are white people, Chinese people, Japanese people, Arabs, East Indians, Polynesians, Africans. Those are heathens. So it says that the house of Israel, in verse 22 of Ezekiel 39, so that the house of Israel, which are blacks and Hispanics, Native Americans, they shall know that I am Lord their God, because the Most High is our governor, and that day and forward. Ezekiel 39, verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel, went into captivity. So we went into slavery. When we went into slavery, when we broke the commandments and went into captivity, we lost our kingdom. We lost our sovereignty. We lost our dominion. And the kingdom became someone else. And I will show you. So the house of Israel, concerning the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. So the reason why we went into captivity, the reason why we went into slavery, because we broke the Most High commandments. We didn't do what he commanded us to do. And as a result, we became slaves under a nation of people, which is the white man. I'm going to show you, because they trespassed against me. So what did God do when we trespassed against him? Therefore, hid I my face from them, and I gave them into the hand of their enemies, so they all fell by the sword. This is Ezekiel, in the book of Ezekiel, 39 chapter, verses 22 and verses 23. Tells you that the house of Israel went into slavery. The house of Israel went into slavery. Why? Because we broke his commandments. We trespassed the commandments. And he hid his face from us. He gave us into the hand of our enemies. And so when we went into slavery, we lost our kingdom. Because in the beginning, we had a perfect dominion. In the beginning, we had ultimate sovereignty. All right, we had power and control as kings and queens. Blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. In the beginning, we was on top. But when we broke the commandments, God put another man on top, which is the nation of Edom, white people. This is why they run this government today. And I'm going to show you this. So now let's go to Job 9:24. Still in the Old Testament. So heaven and hell are conditions in your life. Heaven is not waiting on you after you die. You are in heaven right now, but you are Israelite. Is not your heaven. It's the heathen's heaven right now. All right. So let's go to Job 9:24. Watch this. So now we're going back into the Old Testament, Job 9:24, and check this out. This is in the book of Job, J-O-B. The book of Job, J-O-B. All right. And chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges being the Israelites, blacks and Hispanics. He covered us up. When it says he covered the faces of the judges, that means that he covered our history. He lied to us about our history. He also covered us up by using iconoclasm, whitewashing, covered our history up, told us lies. The white people covered our history up, stole our history, told us lies, and all kind of mischievous things you could think of. That is called covering the faces of the judges in Job 9:24. So the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Now who is the wicked? The so-called white man, the white nation, the white race. If they not wicked, I don't know what to say, man. It's self-explanatory who the wicked are. The way they get down. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So Job is asking the question, if this not the goddamn white man who's the wicked and who has dominion and control over the earth, then you tell me where and who is he then? This is Job 9:24. So the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. That wicked being Esau, which was the progenitor of the Edomites, so-called white people of today. So the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So why was the earth, according to Job 9:24, why was the earth given into the hands of the wicked? We see Cassie Morris. Cassie Morris is watching. You know we go back. We go back. I know you. So I appreciate your time, sister. But basically what I'm doing, I'm trying to explain that heaven and hell are conditions in your life. They are not mythological places. And so why Job 9 in the Bible, in the Old Testament, because we are in the book of Job, J-O-B, that is, the book of Job, and it's Job chapter 9, Job the 9th chapter, and the 24th verse. It says that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Okay? And so the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Now, why was the earth given to the hands of the wicked? Now, if you can't look around and see for yourself who runs the government, then I don't know what to tell you, because European powers controls and run the government. They make you pay taxes, okay? And they make you do so much more in America. We already know this is factual. This is no ifs, ands, or buts. European powers, the powers that be, European Caucasian powers controls and runs the government. Blacks and Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans are not in position to run a government. We already know. So that's facts. But why was the earth given into the wicked hands? I'm going to show you this. So now let's go to Lamentations chapter 2. I'm going to show you that heaven and hell are conditions in your life, and they're not mythological places. Like Christianity and other religions have lied to us and told us that heaven and hell are mythological places and that they're waiting on us when we die. That's a damn lie. I'm going to show you that heaven and hell are conditions in your life. And for the Israelites, which are blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's hell for us. It's hell for us. Okay, so let's go to Lamentations chapter 2, and I'm going to show you why was the earth given to the hands of the wicked. Like I say, forgive me, guys. I have a common cold, a small common cold I came up with, and I'm sniffing and snorting so heavy. To rule the earth is to have sovereignty and control in dominion. And when you have sovereignty and control in dominion, that makes automatically you have a kingdom, what they would call a kingdom. And so let's go to Lamentation now. Sorry for the procrastination of time, but I'm trying to get this as quick as possible. So Lamentations chapter 2. Lamentations is right after the book of Jeremiah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. So, guys, I hope you guys are listening. So this is Lamentations, as you can see, the book of Lamentations, chapter 2. Now, chapter 2, verse 1. Let's read that. And this explains why the earth was given to the hands of the wicked. Lamentations 2:1. How has the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven into earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. So it says, how has the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and he cast Zion down from heaven into the earth. So what is that talking about? This is Lamentations 2:1. What is that talking about? Can somebody please elaborate? I'm going to explain. Lamentations 2:1 is talking about how the Israelites, the nation of Israel, which are God's chosen people to this very day, they did something to lose favor with God. They did something to lose favor with God. The nation of Israel, which are modern day blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the Israelites. We did something a long time ago and we lost favor with God. We lost connection with God. You know what we did? We broke the commandments. God tells us to keep the commandments. We broke the commandments. Afterwards, when we broke the commandments, Lamentations 2:1 tells you that the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger. What does that mean? That means that he cast us down from heaven into the earth. So in Lamentations 2:1, it says that the nation of Israel we pissed the Lord off. We pissed God off so bad that he cast us down from heaven to earth. Now, this is not literal here, because if you take this face value, you're going to think that we fell from heaven all the way down to the earth. It's not talking about that. Lamentations 2:1 is parabolic. It's metaphorical. It's an allegory. Okay? It's a figurative statement. So, I will show you guys once again. How has the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger and cast down from heaven into the earth the beauty of Israel? So the Israelites, we fell from heaven to the earth. Now, allegorically speaking, what is that talking about? That's talking about how we took a great fall. We were kings and queens. Blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. We were kings and queens in the beginning. We ruled the earth. We had total sovereignty, control, and dominion over the earth. We ruled in the beginning. But now, look at blacks and Hispanics and Latinos and Native Americans. Look at us now. What condition that blacks are in? What condition that Hispanics are in? What condition that the Native Americans are in? We are considered today to be the minority. We are considered today to be third class. We are considered today to be at the back of the line. And that's not by design. The reason why blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans are a low-class nation of people today, because we failed. We took a great fall. When we disobeyed God, Lamentations 2:1 in the Old Testament tells you he cast us down from heaven to the earth. To be cast down from heaven to earth is to be taken from the front line into the back line. To be cast down from heaven to earth is to fall all the way up the top of the mountain, all the way down at the base. That's what it means to be cast down from heaven to earth. It's not fake. Don't take this face value. It's a figurative speech. To be cast down from heaven to earth is to take a great fall. It's to fall all the way from the top of the totem pole all the way down. And that's what happened to Israel. So verse to the 23rd verse, Ezekiel chapter 39, and it tells you that that the heathen shall know that the house of Israel, that we went into captivity because we trespassed the Lord. And so when we decided to break his commandments, what happened? He put the heathens on top. And now, this is why we are in hell. So to be cast down from heaven to earth is to be in hell. So while we are in hell, that means somebody gained control over us. When we took a great fall, somebody got above us. Who is that? They are known as the heathen, white people, and every other heathenistic nation that's running this earth, like Koreans that own the nail salons, the Arabs that owns the gas stations, the East Indians that own the gas stations, the so-called white man that owns all these businesses in America, and there are other heathen nations you can think about. They own all these businesses in America. We barely have a hot piece in and a window to throw it out as blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. Why are we third class? Why are we so down at the bottom? Why are we so low? Because we broke the commandments. And so now you will see when they tell you in church that you die and go to heaven, you don't die and go to heaven. Because you are living, you are in heaven now while you are alive. But it's not your heaven. If you are black, if you are Hispanic, if you are Latino, that means you are an Israelite. And that means if you are an Israelite, that means you are in heaven, but it's not your heaven. That means that it's the so-called white man heaven. That is the heathens that have total dominion and sovereignty and control over you. You see? So to be an Israelite is to be a slave under the so-called white man. I'm going to show you something else, guys. This is the last This is the last book, chapter, and verse I'll probably show you guys. I have a bad cold. I have a coming cold. My nose is continuously running. Shall eat it. And we did sow our seed in vain. And our enemies have consumed us. And this is why blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, this is why you don't run no damn government. All right? Leviticus 26 and 17. We're working our way to verse 19. Leviticus 26 and 17. I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. And that happened to blacks and Hispanics. They killed 99 million blacks during the transatlantic slave trade. They killed 77 to 100 million Indians dealing with the manifest destiny. The conquistadors, when they came over here, murdered everything moving and stole America. They that hate you shall reign over you. See, this is why white people rule over black people. This is why white people rule over Hispanic people. And every other people you can think of. Because God set them on top. God set them on top when we fail. They that hate you shall reign over you. And ye shall flee when no man pursuing you. That's the reason why we see the damn cops. The cops ain't even did nothing to us. We go to running when we see the police. Because it say ye shall flee when none pursuing you. That means a white man ain't got to get behind your back and chase you. Automatically when we see the goddamn cops, we go to running, man. You see, Leviticus 26 and 18. And if ye would not yet for all this hearken unto me, the Most I say, still would not keep my commandments, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. So you can bet that the nation of Israel, blacks and Hispanics, Latinos and Native Americans, we are suffering the curses of God. And to suffer a curse under the hands of God is to go through hell. So we are in hell, right? While the white man is in his heaven. Now, this is the verse I want you to look at, guys. Leviticus 26. Now, when we see the goddamn cops, we go to running, man. You see? Leviticus 26 and 18. And if ye would not yet for all this hearken unto me, the Most I say, still would not keep my commandments, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. So you can bet that the nation of Israel, blacks and Hispanics, Latinos and Native Americans, we are suffering the curses of God. And to suffer a curse under the hands of God is to go through hell. So we are in hell, right? While the white man is in his heaven. Now, this is the verse I want you to look at, guys. Leviticus 26, 19. Listen up. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven. See? Because in the beginning we had rulership. In the beginning we had sovereignty in the beginning, kings and queens. But Leviticus 26, 19 says, and I will break your pride and your power, and I will make your heaven. I will make your heavens iron, and your earth as brass. This is in the Bible. Leviticus 26, 19. You see? So, he says, I will make your head iron. So that means, was we floating cloud in the beginning? Was we in some damn atmosphere? Was we ever floating up in some damn atmosphere in the beginning? No. That heaven right there in Leviticus 26, 19, that heaven right there is talking about when we had total sovereignty, dominion, and control as the Israelites. Because we ruled this bitch in the beginning. Nobody did surpass us. In the beginning of time, blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, we got down, man. We ruled this bitch. And all these other nations, like Chinese, Japanese, East Indians, Arabs, Africans, all these other nations had to bow down before us. We had this bitch on lock in the beginning. We ruled, but something happened to us. When we broke God's commandments, and stopped listening to God, he cut us down. And all these other nations outside of us that served us, they got above us. And so now, this is their heaven, while this is our hell. So in the Christian church, when they tell you when you die, you go to heaven, no, you are already in heaven while you're living. Here's the thing. But it's not your heaven. It's the heathen's heaven. It's the Gentiles' heaven that got above you Israelites. So heaven and hell are conditions in your life. And for blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, this is not your heaven. This is the white man's heaven. So when you sit back and say, damn, why white people seem like they always on top? Why white people seem like they always 2 steps ahead? Why they seem like They just the sovereign, they just the most powerful people on earth. Because God put the white people over us. When we broke the commandments, God put these white people over us. When we broke these commandments, God made our heaven hell. And he made the white man hell heaven. So this is the white man heaven, but it's the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans hell. But eventually, the tables will be turned around. When we return back to God and keep his commandments, this will become our heaven again, while it will become the so-called white man hell. That's how that works.